friends and lovers and all of the others. Welcome to another episode of Pod from the Bunker. My name is Kev from the Bunker here on Twitch. All of my socials are popping up below me there. They have come up in the chat as well. Thank you for being here today. If you're watching this live on Twitch, we put all of these videos out on YouTube and all of the audio out onto the podcast network. So go and check those out if you can. Hit subscribe on YouTube. Hit all of the buttons on all of the things. If you can give us a rating and review, that would be super huge on the podcast platform so our audio podcast can reach some more people and I can keep introducing you to new musicians. So I think that's about it. Today we have... all the links below for merch and for everything. Today we have Pajama Princess Daisy, who is a Twitch music streamer, a part of the collective with myself and many, many other great musicians. A small mentorship program to help us with our streaming, and we were connected through that. So I don't know too much about her, but she sent me some videos that I watched today. Extremely talented. I thought she might have had some Celtic roots, but we'll find out a little bit more about that and how she got all the way here to Twitch and where her name comes from and all of the other things that I'm curious to learn about. So I guess without further ado, it's a short intro today. I mean, we have I do have new merch designs. So if you click the link in the description, or if you click command merch in the chat, there are new Live from the Bunker merch designs for the show that we put on here. So check those out. But other than that, also Daisy's links will all be in the chat right now under the guest command, and they are all in the description below. So check all the links out. And I guess let's get to it, shall we? Where are we at here? I got to hit some fancy buttons to make this happen. There it goes. Oh, Miss Daisy, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've got a little bit of a rowdy pup here. She got a new chew toy today, so she's going a little bit crazy. But I also saw you have a pup over there, and we talked. You have a doodle.
I do. I have a doodle named Dexter.
A Dexter. And how old is Dexter?
He is 8.5 now, but he still acts like he's a puppy.
He's a wise fellow.
He is, and he just wants cuddles and pets all the time.
Macy wants to play tug of war with me right now. We have a command in our chat on Twitch for Macy just to let everybody know who she is. Command Macy works, but let's learn a little bit more about you and a little bit less about the dog. My first question before we even learn about you is, what is music to you, Daisy?
Oh gosh, that's a hard question. So music to me, I guess I would say, is kind of therapy in a way. A lot of like the songs I write have come about because of a situation I was put in at some point in my life, whether recently or whether, way back when. And it was just kind of a way for me to express my feelings and get some emotions out. And even songs that I haven't written, if I'm having a bad day, not to use a cliche song, I might listen to Daniel Powter's You've Had a Bad Day just because it makes me feel better. So music is just a way to express myself, I feel like.
And to feel things, maybe. To get a little bit more.
Yeah, and to feel.
Yeah, to get a little bit more of a... Sorry, we have a rowdy dog here. She'll chill out in a minute. To get a little bit more emotion out of life, I think. I think when the hair stands up on the back of your neck or when the tear fills up in your eye, even like I played a lot of weddings this past weekend and, the bride's entering in and I'm playing a song and I'm seeing these people crying and I'm like, is it all... Like, I'm a part of that. Like, I'm playing music and that music contributes to that emotional expression, I would say. Do you remember the first time that you wrote a song or performed a song that made you go, oh, I really love this?
Well, I would say the first time I've ever written a song that had a really big emotional response from me was last Christmas.
Oh, Christmas song?
I wrote a Christmas song. However, I wrote it because my parents were in the hospital with, the nasty C word no one likes to hear about anymore. And I really thought they were going to die. It was such a close call. And I wanted to give them a Christmas present. So I sat down and I wrote this Christmas song about like wishing to see them by New Year's Eve. And I recorded it really quick and I put it on YouTube and I sent it to them in the hospital. And they were very drugged up. So they listened to it and said they loved it. But like in the video, if you ever watch it, I barely get through the song. Just even watching it now, I can barely get through it without remembering all those emotions that were going through me at the time.
Do you think that, yeah, I mean, and the grieving process, I mean, even just for, parents who are ill or anyone who's taken ill, there's a grieving process that you need an emotional outlet. Do you think music can help speed that up for you, or it's like, sort of be like a guiding, holding hand for that process?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like I mentioned, a lot of my songs I consider kind of self therapy for myself, just to get it all out there. And sometimes it makes me feel better. Other times I cry every single time I sing a song. It depends.
Yeah. Have you ever done any co-writes?
Yeah, actually, me and a good friend, the Fantastic Girl, who's a Twitch streamer as well, we co-wrote a song a couple months back. My husband actually writes fantastic lyrics, and I'll do the music for them a lot of times.
Awesome.
And then my best friend Gigi Melodies, her and I will bounce ideas back and forth all the time, and kind of help each other with songs.
Amazing. So yeah, it seems like you've written with people who are close to you because it's such a personal sort of endeavor. Or do you think you can? What if I said, "Hey, we're writing a song today on the podcast"? Do you think that'd be like easy to open up and do, or would we write a different style song, or how does that work for you?
So ironically, both songs I sent you are songs that I wrote on a Twitch stream with chat.
Oh,
Both of them actually came from songwriting challenges that me and some of those friends did together. And I kind of wanted to showcase those because they mean a lot to me because my community helped write them.
amazing. That's so cool. That's very, very cool. Actually, I'm gonna, release a little bit of an egg. This podcast comes out later, but if you're watching live, my group wrote a song for our communities in the collective. So we collectively wrote a song saying sort of thank you. The song's called "Here's to You," and it's actually literally about Twitch viewers and the community.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so that's coming out for my community and all of our communities. I don't know what our release is on that. It's been really hard to pull 5 strangers together and open your hearts up. So that's why I asked that question to you. Excuse me as I clear my throat. But I think that for me as well, writing is extremely personal. Like when I write a song about, I have a song that I've been working on about my mom and my relationship. And I don't think that anybody could come in and sort of say anything, that would personal enough for me to put it in the song. Do you find that difficult, or how do you differentiate like a co-write or something a little more fun from something so personal about your parents or for your parents?
Well, I've never written a really personal. Actually, no, that's completely false. I lied. One of my songs that I wrote with my best friend, she helped a lot with a lot of the lyrics, and the whole song actually came about was we were kind of just going back and forth about ex-boyfriends and how they never treated us right and how they'd put us in the corner sometimes, and both of us were telling our personal stories. And the funny thing that happened was one of us said this would be a good song, and I was sitting here at the piano. I was like, funny, I already started writing a song about what we're talking about. She's like, wait, I have lyrics, and it fit perfectly together.
Right.
So it wasn't so much like we were talking about a super personal topic and like helping each other on purpose with the lyrics.
Yeah.
It just kind of all fell together because her and I are weird and have like this shared brain thing going on.
Well, and it also shows how relatable writing music can be, or how relatable an artist it should be. Is like someone else out there has to go, me as well. Also, I feel this way. So
Right.
It's very interesting that you said that, like, yeah, it's personal for you, and you kind of wrote a personal thing that melded together with someone else's. It just fits.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. So I'm just curious, how do you think let me ask this. What was your first performance or band, or was it a school choir thing? What was your first performance that, you really remember, or had a seminal moment in your life?
The first live performance I've ever done in music in any degree was a piano recital when I was 6 years old, because that's where I got my start.
Yeah.
And I remember I played Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid, if that surprises anyone.
No, it
That's
shouldn't.
my favorite song of all time.
Yeah. You have the Ariel hair almost.
I do. I'm very
Yes.
proud of my Ariel hair.
Gorgeous. Look, the shine on that. It's almost as I like. What do you after this? I need notes because I have quite long hair too, and mine looks like
do. I
a
love your
scarecrow.
hair.
Mine looks like a scarecrow.
Oh no.
It's all dry and messed up. I I mean, us men, we don't take as good care of ourselves. I mean, I need to take a few more notes. And I have also realized so many different things, like putting in-ear monitors or headphones on with hair is such a different thing than a guy who has like a short haircut. Like it's all tangled and tied in there, and you're trying to get the wires out. It's respect.
So true.
Respect.
I get tangled all the time.
Taking care of that mane is a full-time job.
It is. People don't understand.
I do now. Finally. So when you were 6, you started piano. When did you start maybe singing or writing songs with piano and vocal together, or how did that go?
So ironically, I never practiced piano, and I did not excel at it like I should have. So I quit after 6 years of playing piano, and then I started writing lyrics. I want to say when I was around 8 years old, 7, 8 years old.
Okay.
Like I wrote like a Christmas song, and I would just like sing it a cappella, or I'd write like just little tiny songs when I was scared. I remember I wrote a song about a thunderstorm because it scared me one time,
Ah,
and like I don't know where that song is, but there's music for it somewhere. I'm sure I could
right,
find.
right.
And then it wasn't until college, yeah, like so 2010, I learned how to play guitar in my college dorm room with a friend. And that's when I started writing songs a lot more and like learning to accompany myself.
Right.
And and then I didn't pick piano back up until the pandemic. And I
Okay.
started reteaching myself how to like accompany and play chords.
Excellent. Excellent. So like it's been a couple of years you've been back on the piano, so now you're a multi-instrumentalist, you can call yourself.
Yes, yes.
Tremendous. Have you released any music over the last couple of... So first off, how many songs do you think you have in your catalog, if you were to guess?
Like covers and originals or just originals?
Original songs, sorry. Originals, yeah.
I think it's close to 45 or 46 now.
And how many do
Like
you
my
think...
goal for the year is 50.
Oh, wow.
By the end
And
of the year, I want to have 50. So
that's excellent. And how many unfinished songs do you think you have in your like voice notes?
oh man, I think I have at least like 8 or 10 in there now that I've like started and I just can't like make it work the way I want to. So I'm like, I'll just save it for later.
I think I probably have literally hundreds. Like
Oh my
hundreds,
gosh, that's so
hundreds
many.
of things. Like I've been driving down the road and I'd sing something in my head. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And I'll just sing it in my phone and then it'll just go into, I got to go through there and reorganize that.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot in there. And like, I think that some of them could be like, they're like 2 or 3, like, here's the verse of this part. And then I'll sing it into my phone. And and same with guitar parts. So some of them are just guitar. Some of them are, it's just a mess in there. I didn't know if you were the same as me or no, that's just me. I'm just a mess.
Well, I usually start with lyrics before anything. So I have tons and tons of like,
Notes.
phone memos and
Yeah.
Google Drive memos and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, usually I start with lyrics and then
Very
I build
interesting.
all that later.
So that's a very Elton Johnny of you. He would take lyrics from his partner. One of the Mervish brothers actually owns a theater here in town, and that's how like he would just sing what the other person wrote. And I'm like, how do you fit that melody without doing it beforehand? Like I have to fit the words into the syllables of the melody. That's not that's not what you do.
No, not always. I mean, like every now and then, if it doesn't fit right, I'll change, the cadence and like the words to like match if I get a good melody in my head.
Okay.
But like a good example would be a song my husband wrote called Twitchy Business, and it's about Twitch. And he had a really specific vision in mind when he wrote it. So I kind of had to like stay in the confines of his vision. And it
Right.
was difficult, but we eventually made it work with like the melody he kind of wanted to go with, and it worked out. But
It takes
those are
some
kind of fun exercises.
Yeah, it takes some forming and some molding and some melding to get that to sort of fit together. I find that's the most difficult part of songwriting is to try to get lyrics to fit into the melody the way that I want them. Is that
Right, because you don't want to have like really sad lyrics going to like a very happy melody. Like that doesn't
right?
work,
Or
right?
like I have a melody set and it's supposed to round out this way and the words are too long for it. So now like I have to say what I want to say in a shorter amount of syllables. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Or like add it, like skip a beat, like say it faster in this bar. So I find that's the most difficult part for me.
It is difficult. It surely is.
Okay. And so how many songs do you think you've written on Twitch live? Is it just the two? Are you continuing to do that? Is that how you're meeting your 50 songs this year goal?
That wasn't my intention of how to meet that 50, but it's not a terrible idea.
Right.
On stream songs, Avian, Charlie, I see you guys in chat. Hi guys. Help me out. Is it 3? I think I've written 3 on stream now.
And we're going to play
The
two of them.
2?
Two today.
You're
Yeah.
gonna play 2 of them. Yeah.
Cool. Right on. I should have probably just got the third one and rounded it out, but I wasn't thinking. But we'll get you on again and we'll make sure we get that third one. And there might be a few more guys. It looks like you're going to be writing the last 4 songs for this year on Twitch, sounds
Oh
like.
my gosh. Maybe.
Have you released many of these songs on Spotify or any of the Bandcamp or any of these places on the internet?
So I have a couple songs on like all the streaming services. I just released one about a month ago now, called "Taking the Backseat," and that was one of the ones I co-wrote with my best friend.
Okay. Excellent. So are those links in your link tree?
They are, yeah. My Spotify links and stuff are in there.
Okay, cool. Great. How do you think you successfully release music in 2022, Daisy? It's like a new world out there. You used to just burn some CDs or you used to like put some posters up and do it. Things are different now. What is your idea of like how to sort of release music and get a little bit of a buzz or a wow factor behind it?
So I'm actually in the process of learning this right now. So like the first 3 songs or 4 songs I released on Spotify, I did myself. I recorded them myself. They're not great recordings, I'm not gonna lie. And I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, I'm gonna release them and they're automatically gonna get all the views and all the listens. No, guys, that's not how it works. I found out. So now I'm working with a producer and having my stuff professionally recorded, and he's kind of taking me through and teaching me like the correct way to promote things with like Facebook ads, posting on TikTok, doing Instagram reels, and really digging into the promotion side of things, which is a lot of work.
Have you ever heard
a
of
lot of work.
now they're called radio trackers, but they track for streaming as well. Have you ever heard of this thing where they like get you on playlists? Like that's all backdoor stuff.
Oh, yeah. I use Submit Hub, I think it's called.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's
So
like a playlister thing.
okay.
Which is also hard to get added to playlists.
Yeah,
It's
those
really
ones.
hard.
I don't think those ones work as well as like actually getting a person who knows the curators at Amazon Music who says, "Hey, I think Kev would really fit on your list." They go, "Cool, whoever it is, we'll put it on because we trust you." That's how
Oh,
that.
that's cool.
That's the game. So I think it's finding somebody who actually does sort of radio tracking, and because Spotify is like they're kind of tracked by radio trackers, so they know the people. It's like, hey, can we send our artist in to do your morning show? Hey, can we get you our artist on your hot country playlist or whatever it is? It's another whole
That
game.
makes more sense.
It's another whole game. Do you think there are or ever will be rock stars like there have been in the past?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Who's a current rock star?
I mean, who's a current rock star? Oh, geez.
That's a loose term. Like who that can be a pop star? Like I guess it could be a pop star. I mean Bieber.
Yeah, I mean, like automatically, I hate to say it because I'm not a huge fan, but Ariana Grande, I feel like is like today's Britney Spears, essentially.
And Britney
which,
was a
you
rock
know,
star. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They
yeah.
just take
I mean,
on different
I grew up
forms.
listening to that.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just said I grew up listening to that nonstop. Like I was all about Britney Spears when I was like
The
9
hot
years
ticket. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I just think that rock stars maybe just take on different forms. You know, it's not actually a rock star anymore like Steven Tyler or Jimmy Page or Jimi Hendrix. It just becomes a pop star, or maybe it's a rap star. Maybe it's a comedian like Kevin Hart. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe he's a new rock star, or maybe it's a YouTuber like Mr. Beast. Are you familiar with Mr. Beast?
I am actually. My nephew just introduced me to Mr. Beast over the weekend.
Mr. Beast is my one hope in this world. He like gives me all of the hope, that kid. And I hope he's just because he's cleaning the ocean and planting trees and giving away, he is going to die with no money in his bank account. Do you know how much money rolls through that guy's business? It's
I'm sure a lot.
it's astronomical compared to what we think it is. That's how big it is. He spends like millions of dollars on those videos. Anyways, going on about it. So he's a rock star to me. I'm like, oh my God, Mr. Beast.
That's crazy.
Is there any other rock stars you can name currently? They don't even have to be in music.
Um, oh gosh. Offhand, I like can't. I know, like as soon as we get off this, I'll be like, oh, that person and that person and
Right.
that person. I will give a shout out to my husband. My husband's kind of a rock star because he
Amazing.
supports me with like literally everything I do in like the nicest fashion,
Ah,
and he puts up with me, so he's a rock star.
that is a great answer. Tremendous answer. I couldn't have asked for a better. I couldn't have got a better answer, to be honest. And I guess, how are you going to become a legendary rock star? Is the next question.
How am I going to become a legendary rock star? Basically, like, I always think about like when I die someday, like as long as I'm known for being a good person and a decent human being, and that to me would put me in rock star status.
That's
As long
why.
as people don't come to my funeral and say that I was a jerk,
Oh
like
man,
I'll be happy.
very cool. I think that's why I think Mr. Beast is a rock star. Is his positivity,
Hmm.
and he spreads love only, and he tries to give, give, give. He's like a Robin Hood sort of guy. He'll kind of take.
Right,
He'll
that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Robin Hood fan. If you can take money from Toyota advertising on your videos and give it to someone who needs to pay their mortgage, Mr. Beast, please keep doing that.
Oh,
Okay, so let's get into your first video today that you wrote with your community. Which one do you want to play? And tell me a little bit about how this came about and how in the community is in the chat right now. Guys, thank you very much for being here. Generally, when I'm podcasting, I'm trying to listen to the interviewee, so I'm not generally into chat. But thank you for being here. How did you guys write this together? Because that's something that I'm scared to try.
so let's start with Inevitable because that was the first one that I did on stream actually, about a year ago. I think a little over a year ago, Twitch was doing like a songwriting contest,
Oh, right.
and yeah, and me and my friend Gigi Melodies were talking about how this would be really fun to do. Like we should do something like that with just our community. So we started planning it, and we asked another friend of ours to join in, and we picked the topic of our favorite villains. Um, so the whole thing was we had to write the song on stream with our chat. We could have a melody kind of in mind, or we could have like maybe a couple lyrics, but the majority had to be done on Twitch live.
Right.
So I picked Thanos from Marvel Universe because I'm a
Okay.
huge Marvel nerd, to the
Okay.
point where my husband and I got married as Marvel characters
Oh,
on
my
Halloween.
cosplay style on Halloween.
Yep, I was Black Widow and he was Spider-Man.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. I play a lot of weddings and they do fun things, but nothing that fun. I've had some fun
Yep.
weddings. That's
I love
amazing.
saying that I walk down the aisle to the Avengers theme. Like it's my favorite thing.
That's so wild. Okay, so where were we? Sorry, you were saying I cut you off there
You're
because that
fine.
was wild.
Oh, you're totally fine. Um, Gigi did
Oh yes.
Loki because she's a huge Loki fan. And then our other friend Kittens Kung Fu did Jafar from Aladdin.
Okay, so you all that was your own stipulations, or was this Twitch's songwriting stipulations?
Nope, this was just like a small community thing that we wanted to do, just to collaborate and bring our community together and just have some fun.
So was
And
there?
then my husband always hosts it, similar to how you're hosting right now.
Okay, cool. And so, did you guys write a verse each, or did you each write separate songs?
We each wrote separate songs on our respective streams.
Very cool. So this is
Yep.
about Thanos, this song.
Yes.
And the title is Inevitable.
Yep.
And what percentage of chat or of this song was written by chat, and what percentage, like, is it 50-50 when you do this? How does this go? I'm so
I feel like
curious.
chat gave me all the ideas for this. I had the melody and like the loop figured out beforehand because I was sitting on stream one night and I just kept playing this little like melody with my hand. I was like, I should do something with that. So
Okay.
that's what I did with it.
Nice.
But no, I feel like chat came up with a lot of the lyrics, and like really pushed this song forward.
Cool. Yeah. Do you think I was going to ask you next. Do you think you wrote the song faster because of chat, or if you were on your own, would it have taken you longer? Would it have been different? How did their input change this song, do you think?
I think I did write it faster. I mean, we were on stream for like a couple hours doing it, but I mean, everyone had such good ideas to bring to the table, like things that I probably wouldn't have thought of
Right.
that have made the song just what it is today.
Awesome. What's your favorite line in the song?
Oh, I honestly, I always like the chorus. I am inevitable because that's what Thanos says.
Okay. Okay.
It's very simple, but
Is the song is
it's such
this
an iconic line.
is the song written in the perspective of him, or as him negatively, or as him positively? How should I guess just listen?
It kind of devillainizes him. I'm not gonna lie.
Very cool. Okay, well, let me get over to the video playback screen here. And if you could, I'm going to mute my microphone. If you could mute your microphone just so we don't interrupt your beautiful song here. And I have Inevitable all lined up for us. So I hope you guys enjoy this performance, and sit back and chat, and hit some emotes in the chat to show some excitement for this. All right.
Yep, we have two Thanos emotes if you're subbed to me.
Let's
So
use those. Let's use those. Inevitable. Here it is. Hold on. It's not making. Oh, there it is.
Growing up, never had a mentor of my own. Always on the run, never had a real home. Mother never wanted me, father didn't care. All they ever saw in me was grief and despair. Didn't want to deal with the facade. I ran and ran to the macabre. Couldn't sleep, couldn't think straight. Far to see my lady and wait. My power increases. I have space to grow. I am inevitable. We are inevitable. Together we will rule the world. I am inevitable. We are inevitable. Together we will rule the world. Wanting to impress you, yearning to be near you. Perfectly balanced as all things should be. Haters pose as heroes, ripping us apart. They say I'm a madman cause I follow my heart. Running the gauntlet to catch your eye. What can I say? I'm a romantic guy. I go to the ends of the multiverse. Do it myself, break this curse. The reality is my soul needs more. I am inevitable. We are inevitable. Together we will rule the world. I am inevitable. We are inevitable. Together we will rule the world. Snap. My will is done. Half a life dead, the other half succumb to bow down to me and to death. The true power couple will take away your breath, sacrificing everything I hold dear. I cried for you, daughter, you didn't think I cared. The time has come. My mind is set. I am inevitable. We are inevitable. Together we will rule the world. I am inevitable. We are inevitable. Together we will rule the world.
I may have cut the ending off by accident.
Oh no, they missed the flutter.
Is that what happened? Well, if not, I'm going to edit that in. I'm sorry, live viewers. I'm sorry, live viewers. Oh, I'm so new at this. I'm not.
You're doing a great job.
I'm not new at this. I haven't had a piece of media in a while, so I didn't have the monitor on to hear back, and then I was kind of guessing what it was going to end. Then I was going into OBS to check if it would stop after it ended, not loop again, because I didn't want it to start again. I wouldn't have noticed. Anyways, we'll fix that in post.
Hey, I hate technology, like I said. So
You have a rock star husband over there who helps you with a lot of that?
No, he also does not like technology that much. I literally have a Charlie's Beats and an Avian Trine who are in chat right now who help me with that.
Amazing. Well, shout outs to the mods. I have a mod shout out for mine, but shout out to your mods too and anyone who's helping you out.
God. So much help.
So that song you actually had a strict reason and topic to write about, but what do you generally write about, or how do you get sparked into writing a song?
So I always like to say, and we were talking about this last night during our songwriters challenge, that inspiration is weird. Like sometimes, like the other song I sent you, One Night in Dublin, like that one took me a long time to like figure out and get inspired to write. But then a couple weeks ago, I was talking in chat with some friends, and I think I mentioned a park, like going to a park, and all of a sudden, like all these lyrics flooded my mind for a song idea, and I wrote the song in 10 minutes, like laying in bed. I just sat there with my phone. I was like, must write this down right now. It's crazy. And then there's other times where like something really emotional might hit me that I need to get my feelings out, and they just come out in the form of a song instead of, a journal entry or me venting to someone.
Right. So it can be any which way you feel.
Yeah, it's very just depends on the day.
Do you think that you miss like songs can slip away, or you have to capture that moment? Like you said, you're laying in bed trying to get it all out at one time. Do you think that's a fleeting moment?
Sometimes. So I really didn't want to forget it because it was like almost midnight and I'm a sleepy, forgetful individual. But I mean, there are other times where, I'll just write the idea for a song in my phone, and then I'll come back to it and be like, all right, here's the idea. Let's actually flesh it out now.
Right. I think I would go with the same answer, but mine is like I would get a certain way. Like if I get a verse and a chorus, I'm like, okay, I'm okay to leave this alone right now. I have the backbone there. That can be a title for some people. That can be, I guess, just a line or a melody. But for me, I have to have a core of that song done before I can say, okay, I can stop this and feel like it's going to get to like finished,
Right.
Do you prefer being a recording artist or a performing artist?
I like performing. It's so much fun. I love, seeing people's reactions in the crowds or in chat on Twitch. And just knowing that, I'm making someone feel something at like an exact moment in time is just really rewarding and just special to me.
Okay. And you play fiddle.
A little bit. I'm not great at fiddle. I'm like reteaching myself how to play fiddle.
Well done, because I saw some in the video and it sounded great. Like the intonation on playing fiddle. Fiddle is a very intuitive instrument. I think because it's attached to your jaw, like you feel it a lot. It's almost like an extension of your voice into your hands. Would you agree?
I would agree. And I also tell everyone it is the most uncomfortable instrument to play. It is just so uncomfortable to play it well and play it right. You have to just be in the worst position and like be uncomfortable the entire time.
Oh, is there some sort of stretching or some sort of like physiotherapy you can do to like sort of like counter that at all, or?
I don't know. That's a great question that I should figure out, because I'm not going to lie. After I did like 5 takes of that video the other day, playing the fiddle the whole time throughout each time, like my hand was sore.
Yeah, no doubt. I get it. I think maybe just over time, like guitar or piano, those cramps and those uncomfortable feelings maybe go away, but it probably takes a little bit longer. So with that fiddle thing, your next song, which we're not going to play for a minute, but we have a long lead up to this because the title says a few things. So it says, what is it called? A Night in Dublin? That Night in Dublin?
One Night in Dublin.
One Night in Dublin. And you're playing fiddle in the song, and it has this Celtic feel. And I said, do you have like a Celtic or Irish background? And you said, we'll talk about that. So I'm curious now to get to that part.
So long story short, yes, there is some Irish or Scottish heritage somewhere way back when, according to like ancestry.com and stuff.
Okay.
But the song was actually our second annual songwriting challenge.
Oh.
So that's kind of why I wanted to showcase it. Also because I had a video very much prepared for it in the past few days. But this songwriting challenge, Avian Trine and Gigi Melodies were part of it. And the theme was inspired by a place.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Have you been to Dublin?
Yes, actually. We just got back about a month ago. We went to Ireland for 10 days, and it's just the most beautiful, wonderful place in the world. And I loved it so much that I had to write a song about it.
Wow. Do you think that's because you have some sort of like heritage there that you felt like sort of at home, maybe?
I personally think so. I think so.
I think so too. I think the fact
Everyone was really nice to me. I don't know if it was because of my hair color
Yeah.
or the fact that just everyone in Ireland is so nice.
Oh, that's nice. Good to hear. Well, I'm in Canada, so we are notorious for being sorry for yesterday I was sorry for a guy blocking the aisle. I was like, sorry, can I get? I'm like, you should be sorry. You're in the way.
I do the same thing, actually.
Yeah. Well, you're Canadian South. You're Maryland, right? You're Canadian South.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, our niceness leaches over there a little bit, I think.
It totally does. I talk to a lot of Canadians. I love Canadians. Y'all are just so sweet.
I found that there's quite a core group of Canadians on Twitch. Maybe because there's nothing to do up here in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
Some places.
funny. I'll be in Canada this weekend.
Oh, you will?
I will. I'm going to a wedding for 2 Twitch streamers that I met.
Oh
That I
my
haven't met in
goodness.
person yet, but I will.
That is
at their
wild.
wedding.
Where is the wedding?
New Brunswick.
Oh, so you're going east of me. Yeah, that's very Celtic out there. You're going to get some very Irish folk. It's
Ooh, yay.
the East Coast accent has this very Irish feel to it. Like if you hear Canadian East Coaster, yeah, and like they have what they call kitchen parties out there. And kitchen parties is everybody grabs their stringed instruments and they come to the kitchen after dinner. We all eat dinner and then we all grab our instruments and we sit in the living room or the kitchen and we jam. And like everyone just jams in the whole family. It's like a family kitchen jam. And so that's like such a cultural thing on the East Coast of Canada that is very like sort of Irish rootsy. So when you go out there, you're going to fall in love because it's,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's very similar. And like I mentioned that before when we were talking about the whole Irish thing and the Dublin song title, I asked you about that. I said, well, our East Coast is like Celtic ridden.
That sounds amazing. I'm just going to pack up now and move up there because that sounds awesome.
The very beginning of the pandemic, I was looking at places in New Brunswick, Fredericton, actually. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a
I have
quaint.
no idea where that is in comparison to where I'm going. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm not too good at the maritime sort of provinces they call them myself, but I've driven out there once. But you're gonna have a great time, and I hope you travel safely. Are you going over? Where are you crossing the border at Kingston?
We're flying to
flying.
Toronto for a
Okay.
layover, and then we go to Moncton.
Oh, right on. Okay, so it's a flight. I'm a real road warrior.
If it wasn't like a 20-hour drive,
20.
we've considered it.
Okay, yeah, that's
it was a
farther-
long drive.
Yeah, that's farther than I thought. Right on. So, do you happen to remember the first concert that you attended?
Yes, I believe it was Martina McBride.
No way. That's a classic in the Foster household. That was very.
I love her.
That was hanging around. Dave was playing that all the time.
Love her so much. She's such a powerful voice, and I try to mimic her, and I say mimic very lightly.
Do you remember, like, so how old were you? What was the whole situation? Can you remember the vibe of that and how it maybe impacted you?
So I remember my mom took me because she really liked Martina as well. And I want to say I was maybe like 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. And it was down in southern Maryland. So for us living in Pennsylvania at the time, it was actually like a 3-hour drive to get there.
Oh, wow.
But we have relatives that lived nearby, so we stayed there. And it was an outdoor like marina type venue. It was really cool.
Oh, wow. That is
And I remember
so
it poured down rain and we got drenched at one point waiting for her to come out. But she came out. It was awesome and played for a long time.
And how did that impact you? I mean, you obviously say you like to mimic her and you love her. Was there like a moment where you're like, whoa, I think I could do that, or I'd love to be that, or this is hitting me? What was it?
I remember like sitting there and like watching her up on the stage, just thinking like, oh, I would love to do that someday. Like I wish I could do that someday. Like
Yeah.
that's my dream.
Singing along at the top of your lungs, soaking wet in rain.
Yep, exactly.
I did that at like 35 with my dad.
Aw.
We went and saw Chris Stapleton. It poured rain the whole time. I only cried
Oh, I bet
twice.
that was a great concert though.
Yeah, it was. I only cried 2 times, I promise. What was the last concert you went to?
The last concert I went to, I believe, was have you ever heard of Boyce Avenue on Twitch?
Oh yes.
Or
Oh,
not on
on
Twitch, on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yes, I have. Yeah, they got big doing those covers.
Yeah, a couple years ago in 2019, my husband, my parents, and I went to France for a wedding, and like my husband and I love Boyce Avenue, and I just happened to look on their website. I was like, Sleepy, like Boyce Avenue is going to be in Paris the night we're in Paris, and we have a free night with no plans. We should go. And he's like, book it, book it, book it. So we
Amazing.
did, and it was amazing. It was so cool.
That's a curious show to me. Did they play original music there?
They played some originals and some covers, yeah. And their originals are really good. I love their originals.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. Like, I'm a primarily a cover artist. I have a lot of originals and I like playing, and I'm a songwriter, but I make most of my money doing cover gigs. So it's always peculiar to me I'm curious about, did people respond as well? Or were they all about the One Republic cover that they knew the most, like it's too late to apologize. I remember that one they did.
No, I would say like the whole show had like a really positive vibe and like very energetic the whole time. And it was kind of cool because they told us about themselves a little bit too, which
Right.
I feel like on most of the videos you only see like the lead singer, the main brother, but like his two brothers, they're like there's three brothers. They're such a talented family.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what did their parents do when they conceived to make this much talent? Like I
Yeah.
don't get it. But they were really cool to listen to and hear their stories, and they're all just so incredibly talented.
I'm really stoked to hear that there was no lull when they played an original, because you can as you can understand that, like, if you're playing all these massive hits that everybody knows and they know you from them, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And then you drop your original, I know I lose the room real quick. Like, people are going to order a beer, they're going to the washroom, and you're like, oh. So I'm really happy to hear that, like, people were interested in checking out what they were writing. And, like, I always thought it was an interesting way to sort of parlay your careers. Like, play everybody else's songs, and then maybe they'll give you 2 seconds to listen to your song, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
How many covers do you have in your list for Twitch and whatnot?
Something over 500, I think.
Holy Machina.
Yeah, I just keep adding things
Good for
every
you.
now and then.
No, it's good to have a good repertoire. And like, do you think that teaches you, like, helps you on your songwriting journeys? Broadens your songwriting, I should say.
I think it does because it's like a wide variety of genres as well. And I kind of talked about it last night that like when I write now, I kind of try and challenge myself to write in different styles. So that, I don't have 20 songs that sound like a Taylor Swift cover, essentially.
Right.
So
Such a good reference. Also, have you seen what she's doing for her release right now?
oh God, no. I'm not a big Tay Tay fan. I'm not going
Okay,
to lie.
okay.
I have beef with her. But I'm curious now. What is she doing with her release?
It's kind of cool. I keep seeing it pop up on my Reddit, actually. Somehow Reddit is like, you like Taylor Swift, and keeps putting the Taylor Swift Reddit in front of me. I'm like, no. Anyways, I don't dislike her, but I'm not like looking for her Reddit by any means. So she's doing this thing now where every night at midnight she goes on and she rolls a bingo wheel with bingo balls in it, and one ball pops out, and it's a track number. So today was 7. And then she goes, track number 7 is called, and she picks up an old phone with like an armrest thing on it, like you'd see at a hotel, and into it she says, whatever the title is. Today it was Question. That's the name of track 7 is called Question. So she's doing this every night, and like it's like this very short 1 minute, and she's got this like game showy music background. And it's very like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's pretty cool. I'm like, oh, okay, you're cool. I like that.
Oh my gosh, that's kind of funny.
It's something that we would do as Twitch use. Like, that's a Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Twitch thing. It's like, okay, guys, we're gonna do the next thing. We're gonna roll our wheel here, and that's an exciting interactive thing. But, anyways, how do we get side Tay Tay? You're just getting into our conversation.
I know. I made a slight jab at hers, Hal.
Oh, you made a slight jab at which?
At Tay Tay.
Oh, that's okay. So she's beefing with you. I see Dexter.
Yeah.
Hi, Dex.
Hi, say hi, Dex. He's just like, I want treats. That's all he wants.
What a good boy. Okay, so let's see here. We talked about Dublin. You're well-traveled because you've been to Paris and you've seen Boyce Avenue there. And is there any other crazy places you've been in the world?
Been to Iceland a couple times. We've been to England. Been a bunch of places in the U.S., Canada. Um,
Have you performed
there's
overseas at
been
all?
sort of. I mean, yeah, technically yes. So when we were in Ireland, we were actually trying to shoot a music video for one of my upcoming releases. Just because we were going to be in really cool places. We're
Brilliant.
like,
Yeah, use
it,
that.
it fits the theme.
Hell yeah.
Why not? So we were in Galway and I was talking to a busker and I was like kind of talking to him. He was asking like where we'd been. And I told him we were shooting a music video. He's like, "Oh, you should play it and get this footage." And he just takes his guitar off and just, "Here you go." I was like,
Oh, that's so fun.
I kind of just froze. I was like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, you got time. I'm going to take a break. Have my guitar. Do it." It's like,
That's
okay.
so great.
So like, a couple hundred people in the streets of Galway just watching me sing an original song while my husband recorded it.
That's so amazing. And the rock star's there with the camera. He's ready to
Yeah.
capture it. Good for you, hubby.
Again, major rock star. He put up with so much filming of me in Ireland.
That's so great. It takes a team to do this. As a content creator now, we realize, you realize the back end of this, just getting the video to not be silent in my ears so that I stop it early is an extra step that I have to, there's just so much going on. So I've given myself a bit of a looser leash now. Like if things go wrong, they're going to go wrong, The streaming is tough. Creating content is very difficult.
Exactly.
So,
As I like to say, po body's nerfect.
oh, I love that. Oh, I need to take that one. Write that down. Jot that down. Great. Okay, so let's introduce this next song then. So this is another one written to your second season of your songwriting challenge. Was this for Twitch or just among your friends this year?
This was for Twitch. We actually did the songwriter showcase last night on my husband's channel.
Oh,
Sleepy
amazing.
Bear Games.
Amazing. Okay, do we need a link for that? Can you send me that link to put in the descriptions? We
The
can
link for
Sleepy Bear Games as well?
Oh,
Not
yeah,
right now. You don't have to
absolutely.
send it right now. I'm just saying,
Oh.
so afterwards I can put his Twitch in the description of the YouTube as well, because he's a rock star and keep mentioning him. So we're definitely
Yeah,
gonna.
absolutely.
Okay, cool. That's amazing. You wrote 2 years in a row for the Twitch competition, and you wrote with your community, and then you've had a challenge separately with your friends. So this year was a place. You picked Dublin. And anything else you want to introduce about this song? How did the fiddle get added into there?
So when we were in Ireland, one of my favorite things was the traditional Irish music that was like in all the pubs. And every single place that had traditional Irish music, it was usually a guitar and a fiddle or a tin whistle. Which,
Yeah. Oh yeah, we know.
you know what
I
a tin
know.
whistle is?
Oh yes.
Here's a little tin whistle
Yeah.
that I totally bought in Ireland because why not?
Yeah. Green has to be green top.
Yep, exactly. It's like the official tin whistle of Ireland.
Yeah.
So when I wrote the song, I immediately, like in the back of my mind, kept like thinking, like, all right, like a fiddle part would go like this, like it has to be in there. And one of the things I enjoyed is that, like, so I grew up with bluegrass music as well, and that's a lot of fiddle and completely different styles. I had
Yeah.
to reteach myself, like, a different style of fiddling because
Right. It's like a new
so
language
different.
almost, right?
It is, yeah,
Yeah.
actually, that's a great way to say it.
And some people say that a violin has strings and a fiddle has strangs.
Yeah.
It's all in the way you play it. It can be a classical instrument or it can be a Appalachian instrument. It really can be all of those things. So you grew up in Pennsylvania. So is that where the bluegrass sort of Appalachian comes from, you think?
Yeah, like my parents were like big into like old-timey country music, bluegrass. I have a brother-in-law who was like a professional bluegrass artist.
Okay. Yeah. So you know what that is. So in the world of bluegrass, if anyone doesn't know, if you go to the bluegrass circuit, I mean, in Appalachia or in southern states, these dudes are literal rock stars. Like they walk around in like studded out suits and everyone's like, oh, there's Jerry the banjo player. There's, whatever the guy is. Like they're so famous. So
They are.
And that's an in-law, you said? Your brother-in-law?
Yep.
That's crazy wild cool.
Yeah,
So
he's insanely talented.
Yeah, I bet. So relearning the fiddle for this song, did you sort of listen while you were in? How did you change your language How did you go from being bluegrass history and then bringing it back up and then going to, what was that? Did you have to look on the internet on styles or?
So actually, yeah, I did look up some YouTube videos of like the bowing technique because like as I was listening to traditional Irish music nonstop since we went to Ireland because I became obsessed. Like I just kept trying to like replicate it. I was like, something's wrong. Like it doesn't sound the same.
Right.
Besides the fact I'm just not that great of a fiddle player. I started looking up some bowing techniques and discovered that, you know, they'll do a lot of like 3 notes up, 3 notes down and kind of break it up that way. So I kind of tried to incorporate that a little bit.
Okay, well, I'm really excited to play this one back. I actually have a browser open now that I can actually hear what's going on. So what I'll be able to do is actually hear this one and not cut it off. I will repair the other one in the post-production. I promise you that. Everyone's going to hear your full song. And yeah, so let's get to this performance, and I'm going to click over to the performance. If you could mute yourself again, I'm going to mute myself. And everyone in the chat, please enjoy this performance of One Night in Dublin.
One night in Dublin, my darling and I were hanging out in Temple Bar, having a few pints. That's when the stag do came and said hi and asked us to join them for the rest of the night. The rainy streets in Dublin never keep me down, dancing to the music that strums from town to town. Raise a pint to the mass that we both keep around. One crazy night in Dublin town. Bar to bar we hopped as we made our way downtown. Merrily we danced, cheers all around. All of a sudden the groom hit the ground. What a crazy night in Dublin town. The rainy streets in Dublin never keep me down, dancing to the music that strums from town to town. Raise a pint to the mess that we both keep around. One crazy night in Dublin town. Gobsmacked and gobshite, the groom was exposed. A fair young lass stood over him, she punched him in the nose. A bar fight erupted, some chairs were thrown around. Barkeep said this was a normal night in Dublin town. The rainy streets in Dublin never keep me down, dancing to the music that strums from town to town. Raise a pint to the mess that we both keep around. One crazy night in Dublin town. I lost a shoe at midnight, lost my shirt at 2:30. By the time they kicked us out, I lost my darling too. Led only by the street lights, I passed out on the ground. I closed my eyes to the reprise of Dublin town. The rainy streets in Dublin never keep me down, dancing to the music that strums from town to town. Raise a pint to the mess that we both keep around. One crazy night in Dublin town. When you drink in Ireland, you never drink alone. Calling up Colleen and Colin to come and take me home. This won't be the last night that I have her around. I'll be back again to drink in Dublin town. The rainy streets in Dublin never keep me down, dancing to the music that strums from town to town. Raise a pint to the mass that we both keep around. One crazy night in Dublin town. One crazy night in Dublin town.
We back. We got all the way through that one, for sure. I think the reason I got worried about the last one because I didn't know it was going to go black at the end. Because sometimes it'll loop.
yeah.
I turned the loop off. So we went black. We got all the way through it. Whoa, Kev, learn from his mistakes. That was great. I got to listen too. And yeah, great fiddle playing. I mean, you could say you're not a great fiddle player, but my dad told me when I was growing up that if you wanted to learn how to play the fiddle, you were going to lose at least 3 wives. Because
God.
it sounds so horrible when you start learning dead birds and just like the worst sounds, and like your wife is gonna leave you. He said, "If
It's so true.
so
Again, husband is a rock star. 'Cause he
Yeah.
hasn't left me yet.
and if you can make like an intonated note on that instrument, you have a skill. It's hard to do. I've rented them before because I was like, oh, I'll just give that a shot. No, I could play it. No, it's so difficult. So give yourself a little bit of credit and a little pat on the back. And that sounded great and had a very Celtic Irish feel to it. You nailed it.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me.
The-
And the fun part about that is it is based on a true story.
Yeah, well, I was listening to some of the lyrics. The rain came down in London town, and you were singing about an experience. It seemed like so. I guess I'll have to follow it right through and hear that whole story.
So the whole story that's true is that me and my husband were hanging out in Temple Bar in Dublin, which is like a big bar area, and somehow him and a guy met in the bathroom and became buddies, and it was part of a stag do party or a bachelor party for those
Yeah.
who don't know that.
Yeah.
And we kind of just joined them for like the rest of the night while we were out, and got really, really drunk is the end of our story. But that was the premise I wanted to use for the songwriting
Right.
challenge. So I told chat, I was like, here's the start of the story. Let's make it ridiculous.
Right. So you can add. So it's like mostly fact and then a little bit of fiction added on there to make it a little spicy.
Yeah, it was like a choose your own adventure story.
Oh, very cool. That makes it even more fun. Cool. So the last little segments after the 2 performances, I usually ask for just to have some fun. If you were to go on tour with, let's say, 2 musicians who are either dead or alive, who would they be?
Ooh, that's a great question. I would love to go on tour with Patsy Cline if she was still around. I love Patsy Cline.
So do I.
And then another one would have to be, I feel like Garth Brooks would be a lot of fun to go on tour with. He just seems like such a fun person.
Yeah, Garth is he's a different guy. There's a comedian I listen to named Tom Segura. He's a little bit blue. He's very blue. And he jokes that Garth Brooks, he's like, where's the bodies, Garth? Where's the bodies? Like he's some sort of, like he's not real. He's like robotic.
I mean, he has so much energy for his age.
Right.
Like,
Maybe he's
so
not.
much.
Maybe he's an avatar. Maybe he is. AI.
That would explain so much.
I think they said that he runs like $3 billion through his business in a year. Like, cause he owns and runs everything, right? Like,
Yeah.
wild. What a wild guy. What do you think that you, Patsy Cline, and Garth Brooks would have in your green room on your rider, your list of things to eat, food or snacks or fun games to play backstage? What would be on that rider?
I feel like we would definitely have some like, I feel like Patsy would be, well, no, she was kind of a beer gal actually. So I feel like we would have to have some beer backstage because, we'd all want to enjoy a tasty beverage before we go out. But then I could also see us just doing like a big old charcuterie board. I feel like they're fancy enough that charcuterie would be in like our green room.
Okay, cool. Is there anything specific you need to have on there, especially in forms of like sweets and jellies? I think the charcuterie is made or broken by like with the jams and the jellies and like the sweets on there.
Yeah, I do like a good like apple jam.
Okay.
With like some cheese and like some crackers on top. That's
Totally.
pretty good.
Yeah. There is a good, and I've had a couple other ones too. I can't remember off the top, like a cranberry balsamic jam. Like there's all
would be
sorts
good.
of, yeah. This tour is going all over, let's say, the world. It's a world tour. What venue would you want to end off in? What would be the last place that you would like to play with Patsy Cline and Garth Brooks?
The Ryman Auditorium in Nashville.
Boom. No one
Because-
has answered that yet. I've been waiting for that one.
Again, I'm a country girl at heart. Like
Oh,
I have
amazing.
to. And I
Amazing.
have sang on that stage. Just
What?
not like
Hold on.
officially in front of people.
Oh, okay. So you were doing like a tour when I'm saying?
Yeah. Like my mom's like, Daisy, get up there. Let me take your picture. So I'm
Aw.
standing there like, she's like, sing something to say you did it. I was like, okay. Like, sure.
That's brilliant. That's a bucket lister. That's very
Right? I
yeah.
can at least say I sang in the circle.
Yeah. With the did it have the big triangular? What do they call those things that go over the mic stands?
I always called it a mic cover.
I forget what they're called. The news
They
anchors
do have a
them.
name though.
The news anchors have them too. They're a little square block on the bottom of the news. There's the same thing. I forgot what it's called. Someone will tell us in chat. Someone's Googling that right now. Okay, so Ryman Auditorium was a charcuterie board.
And then we go over to Tootsie's afterwards, obviously, and do
Boom.
a second show.
Tootsie. Oh, it's the second show. You just climb up and like, hey, this is just the epilogue. Sorry, the epilogue to the tour. You
Yeah,
get
I mean,
one-
they used to have the Midnight Jamboree at Ernest Tubb Record Shop. However, Ernest Tubb Record Shop closed recently. So
There you go. It
can't
did.
do that anymore.
recently. Jack White's got one open there. I went to his when I was there. Have you been to Nashville many
nice.
times?
A couple times. Recently enough, though, like a year ago, we went.
Oh, very cool.
So we got to see the record shop before it closed down again. So
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I play an Ernest Tubb song. Do you have any Ernest Tubb songs in your song list?
I don't. And now I may have to learn some after this.
I only have Walking the Floor Over You because it was like I think it was the number one famous.
Yeah,
So
it's like,
the whole record was named or something, I think.
yeah.
But yeah, very interesting. What makes you happy, Daisy?
What makes me happy? I would say just positivity in general. Like if something has a positive vibe or a positive air to it, like it just puts me in a good mood. But overall, music makes me happy.
Okay. And then I guess my last question for you today, it's kind of like, what do you think? Because success goes in like such stages. You get to a point and you're like, oh, well, then I'd like to do this next and I'd like to do this next. What do you think the final like landing point for you to be content and sort of, sit in a place of comfort in music would be? What is the final Bowser? If you were to beat the final boss and land somewhere, what would that be for you?
Oh gosh, that is a really tough question. Mainly because like in Hamilton, like I'm never satisfied. Like there's always more you can do, I feel like.
Of course.
But honestly, I would be happy if, I was getting like one live gig a month and, my singles were doing well on Spotify and just, seeing constant improvement in my own like musicianship. I think that would put me in a good place.
Awesome. Good answer. I think one of the things that is everyone tries to say is like sustainability. I think the real final goal is not about what kind of art or how you release music or how many freaking follows or things. What is sustainable for me and how can I land in a place where I'm comfortable and I enjoy what I do and other people enjoy what I do as well. So I think you just keep doing what you're doing and you're building your community and you're building your career and, every day is 1% towards that final goal, right?
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this today. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun. You're so easy to talk to. I had a blast.
Thank you. I would say that I'm slowly getting better. I'm not. I started this because I'm not really a great listener. I'm always trying to get ready to say my next thing that she talked about Dublin. I know something about, like that kind of thing. And so I think I'm getting a little bit better at listening and thank you for saying that. And I think the fact that you and I don't know each other so well, it allowed me to just keep asking questions that were just natural because I don't know anything about you. So it was a pleasure to get to know you today.
It was a pleasure being here, and I can't wait to get to know you better next time.
Yeah, we're going to start flipping them over soon. I think after the first year. So I have a couple more months till the year of podcasts, and then I'm going to have guests come back on and get to know me a little better. Ask me some questions, and we'll have fun the other way around. So that'll be fun.
I love it.
Looking forward to checking you out on Twitch again. Is there anything else that you have coming up that you'd like to promote at all? Anything special? Any releases? Anything that you're planning?
I would say like my last stream of September is tomorrow night, trying to do one final push. And then I'm going to be releasing my next single at the end of October, which is called Two Ships, and it's the music video from Ireland. So
amazing. Two ships.
Just wrapping that up.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to that. So this podcast will be out in all of the on all of the platforms a few weeks after we're actually doing this live recording of it. So that'll line up just in time for the
Perfect.
release. Yeah, that'll be great. So I'm sure your link tree will be all updated with that. So everybody check the link tree below. And your rock star husband's been shouted out in our chat. He will be.
Oh, thank you.
We will
That's sweet.
also get a link for his Twitch channel into the YouTube video. So thank you for everything today. I'll keep you
thank
posted.
you.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted on when this comes out, and we will do this again. And if you're ever in Toronto, this stage right here is open to you. Come on by and perform some original songs for us, and we can stream together.
I wish I had a longer layover on Friday.
Yeah, because I have a gig Friday, but if you were here long enough, I've done that with Greg Klima. I don't know if you know Greg Klima. Social
I've heard.
Climate. He came in through town for like a day, and I'm like, well, we have 2 hours. Come on over. And we did record him. So,
I love that.
if you are ever here in Toronto again, please let me know ahead of time. You have my contact, and we'll make sure we get you in here for a performance. It's you have a very calming energy to you, so thank you for that.
Oh, thank you.
That helps a guy like me. I'm rowdy as hell, so thank you. You keep me under wraps. Like your calmness is just nice and chill. So I feel like you're grounded. That would be a better word. Very grounded.
I'll go with that. I like that.
Okay. Right on. Well, I'm going to let you go, and we'll be in touch, and I look forward to chatting to you
right.
again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Have a
Daisy.
good night, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone in chat. Talk to you soon.